Natalie, as a Jewel student now, what was the transition like between high school and college?
There was a little bit of transition, definitely the pace of the game and the size of the court and also the speed. It goes a lot faster than high school, and that really increases the score as well.
Have you learned a lot as a basketball player this year?
I definitely have. I've gotten a lot more individual work with my ball handling and a lot of teamwork, communication.
What's your position? I mean, what's your comfortable position on the floor?
I'm playing a 4 and a 5, so forward or center, wherever. They're pretty interchangeable.
Some of these teams,
something inside.
Some of these teams we have, though, have monsters inside, and you're not. How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Okay. Natalie Closser is our guest as we're visiting about her life as a basketball player. Now, I have also a scouting report on you academically. Are you ready?
Yes.
The scouting report says you are really, really, really smart. Is that true?
I try to be. I'd like to think that I am.
What do you want to do in school, and then later?
I'm in the nursing program right now, so I'd really like to be a nurse, help others.
Well, I know you're going to be modest about this, but when people tell me you're really smart, how do you take that? Is that
It's a huge compliment
okay.
to hear someone actually say that to you when you know that you work so hard behind the scenes. It really is a ego booster even.
Well, there are people that work hard that aren't smart. Let's just face the facts. I mean, you're looking across the table at one, for a matter of fact. But you to work hard and be smart, I would think that's a lethal combination.
It is beneficial, and I attribute some of it to basketball as well because it keeps me on track. I can't slack. I have no room to, especially in college.
Yeah.
With missing classes.
Natalie, what's one word you would use to describe success? What do you have to be at Jewel in order to be successful?
Determination.
Really? Okay.
Yes. You definitely have to know your goals, have them set, and work to achieve them, because if you don't have a goal in mind, you won't achieve them.
Where'd you learn that?
I picked it up in life.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, so you're kind of talking like an old soul here. That but that's a very mature way of looking at things. And when you say that, I guess I thought you'd say something different, but I'm glad you brought that up. What kind of experiences have you had that make you say that?
Well, I'd like to look at the big picture. I've always been one, when I was younger, to plan. I planned ahead of time. As my mom and brother would joke, I'd come in when I was in middle school saying, okay, here's the classes I have to take in college. And
really?
Yes. So I've always had a plan, and once I reach my goal, then I can move on to the next goal, and it's really kept me on track.
Natalie Closser visits with us here at halftime. Okay, so if you could come in at that point and say, I would need these classes in college, what point did basketball enter that equation?
I've always loved basketball, and I found out when I was in 4th grade, and I was still 5'11". I was taller than all the other kids.
In 4th grade?
Yes. That I was good at basketball by just standing there, staying under the basket. And once I realized that I was actually good at it, I put effort into it. And then I had to set little goals for myself at first with getting dribbling down, getting a layup down. And then it was making a shot, working together as a team, winning a game, winning a championship, and then making it into college eventually.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Hyvee High School in Springfield, Missouri. Good
basketball there, right?
Very
and it's very much a basketball part of the state.
Yes, it is.
How were your teams there?
Our team was very, very strong, especially my senior year. I believe we lost 5 games. We were 26-5, so.
Okay, so this year we're having kind of a down year in women's basketball, so not normal. What's that like? What kind of adjustment is it coming in from a team that's been very successful to one that kind of has played up and down?
It's a little bit different, but I see how hard we work. And some of those games that we've had could have gone either way so closely.
Right.
Within 1 or 2 points, within one possession.
Yeah.
So.
What's the thought then? You come into a locker room after you've lost a really close game. There have been, like you said, a lot here, especially recently. What's the feeling after a game? How does the team hang together?
It's not hard to hang together because we're so close-knit already, and we're always there for each other. So when I see someone else is really beat down after a game, you have to just keep building them back up, saying those were good shots, they'll go in, you just keep practicing.
Right.
You can't tear them down, and you can't blame one person, because when you start blaming one person, that's when the whole team falls apart.
Natalie is a freshman here at William Jewell, Natalie Closser, and we talked to her here at halftime. The planning that you mentioned, I guess I'm a little stuck on that. What's the plan for this team, and what's the plan for your basketball career at this point?
Right now, I'm just trying to get healthy again. I had an injury at the beginning of the year, so that's kind of set me back a little bit.
Let's talk about that. What was the injury, if you don't mind talking about it?
No, I've had some back pain since 6th grade. I've got an extra bone in my back.
Really?
So, yes. And it's caused some pain, and I don't have very good flexibility, so I've really been working on that.
Okay.
And I was going up for a layup in October before we went to our California trip, and I got a spasm in it, and then it ended up going down to my sciatic nerve, and I had a disc protrusion. So.
With an extra bone in your back, I mean, I'm just floating around in there, or where is it?
I guess it's in my...
Never heard of that.
Between my 3 and 4 lumbar vertebrae, I believe. And it's hereditary, so not everybody feels pain necessarily.
Right. Natalie, you mentioned your mom and your brother a little bit ago, but since you brought up hereditary, tell us about your family, if you would.
Absolutely. I've got my mother, Brenda, and my father, Jim, and then my little brother, who's actually 6'6".
Is he really?
Mitch. He's 17, and then I've got Bryce, who's 12.
Wow.
So they're very supportive.
Your parents tall?
No, my mom is actually 5'9", but she's the shortest out of 6. So I've got a 6'6", or she's got a 6'6" brother and a 6'5" brother, and then she's the shortest female as well with 2 6-foot sisters.
All right. What do your parents do for a living?
My father was a police officer, and then he just retired, so he's enjoying some relaxation. And then my mother is an office manager for a food broker.
Okay. Natalie Closser with us, and I guess the last thing I want to focus on is, since, again, I'm stuck on this planning thing, but what kind of nursing do you want to do, and do you have an area of the country you want to do it in?
I haven't really chosen a specific place, because every time you go to a rotation, which I've been to a few, you always are like, oh, this is the rotation for me. So I'm really interested right now in either orthopedics, or I've also liked hematology, which is in the cancer field.
Right.
And I love this area. I didn't know if I could ever leave Springfield and, not want to return back to it, but this area, Overland Park area, is really a place that there's so many opportunities with so many hospitals and people in need.
A lot of people that come from high school into the college atmosphere here at Jewel kind of say it's like a big high school. Is that what you have found, or has there been any difference for you?
I agree. It's definitely been a big high school, but more like little high school, because my high school is about 2,000 people.
So it's twice as big as Jewel?
Yes.
Wow.
And I love it. I love the transition from that. I'm in a class with, people who are focused on the same thing I am. They're not taking the class just because they have to. They're actually interested in it. They actually want to learn. And the teachers know your name. There's wonderful connections with them.
Natalie Closser, our guest, and the last thing I want to know, and I'll let you go, but what do you do if you're studying, you're working at basketball, traveling in our conference? What do you do to enjoy yourself? What are some of your hobbies or things you do for fun?
Sometimes my basketball and work consist of my having fun.
Oh, really? Okay, that's a great answer.
Basketball is definitely a stress reliever when it comes to schoolwork, and then when I'm not doing either basketball or schoolwork, I'm probably with my roommate, because we're best friends.
Oh, good. Who's your roommate?
Jenna Rao. She plays volleyball on the team.
Yeah.
Or reading a book.
Okay. Good. What are you reading?
Anything. I love all literature.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you get healthy.
I hope so, too. It's definitely on a way up.
Good deal.
I'm feeling better every day.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will be back with more in just a moment.